Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shenanigan, and today I'm just gonna go ahead and discuss about the Grandmaster's Gauntlet and what I did to finish it. Just to show you the best champs you can use and the best counters. So as you can see that this one is 100% right now, and the team you see on the left is the champs I use. And just off the top, just want to let you know that based on the champions and the nodes on this quest from the defenders, the best champ I found, the top MVP for this particular chapter, was Apocalypse. He did a lot. In fact, almost all the fights were done by Apocalypse. He has very unique abilities, such as getting immune to disorient and bleed. The SP2 concussion, the bleeds and the heavy were a lot helpful with almost all the defenders. And the second champ, I would say, out of the ones that I used, was Professor X. His ability to counter evade and be in sync with the mutant power boosts actually helped a lot to take out a lot of challenges on this map. The other three, even if they were not here and were replaced by someone else, that would still work. So I'm just gonna go ahead champ by champ what challenges I faced and who I used. For the first Doc Ock, I used Magneto. I think I used two SP3s and one SP2, and it was down. 0 revives used. Yeah, by the way, just want to let you know I used 31 single revives and 9 team revives, but a lot of health potions. So if someone is willing to use units for revives, you should farm potions in Realm of Legends to ensure that you have enough. I would suggest at least 100 or so of level 3 pots and all. Maybe open some Thronebreaker crystals or something. So this was done by Magneto. Someone else could have been able to do this as well, because this wasn't a bad fight. Tyrax, I used Namor for this fight. This is the only fight Namor was used for, including Thanos. I didn't use Namor for Thanos either. So if someone else can actually do this fight, like Gladiator Hulk or something, you can always switch Namor for another champion. I used Magneto again for Vision. Again, someone else could have done it too. It's just that this Surging Vengeance node would actually make him throw an SP3 and you get knocked out. So maybe Doctor Doom or maybe Medusa or someone can also do this fight. This fight, MODOK, I only used Apocalypse, only parry heavy. Apocalypse does have this SP2, which reduces the ability accuracy of a defender by 35%, and while that concussion is active, you do an SP3, the ability accuracy reduction increases to 70%. That actually helped a lot on the rest of the quest, but we'll come to that. Any champ can actually be used to get Spider-Ham down. The only problem I had in this fight is that he was very stingy in throwing in specials. I had to wait sometimes even a minute to get him to throw his special one. Professor X did work on this fight, but I believe any evade counter and Apocalypse would actually have worked as well. Next we have Wolverine, Weapon X. Magneto was the one I used in this fight. I think 2 or 3 SP3s were all that needed. Again, anyone could have done this fight, so not necessarily need a Magneto here. For this thing, I used Cable. I saw a lot of videos on YouTube about Cable taking on the Abyss thing, so that's exactly what I did here. So far, I think I used a couple of revives here on Spider-Ham. Rest everything was one shot. This Korg was someone that actually used most of my revives, and I tried to do the way I saw it done on YouTube by Professor X, but it didn't work at all and wasted a lot of revives there. So at the end, I actually decided to use Apocalypse there. Apocalypse would always be able to parry Korg. After you parry, just do a 4-hit light combo. Korg will evade, but every time he evades, you get that 10% evade charge, which will actually be helpful on other evade fights in the future. So by the end of this fight, I was actually at 80% evade resistance for Apocalypse. Dragon Man was another fight which actually used a lot of revives, and that was basically due to the fact that he was not throwing his specials and he would reach his SP3 very soon. I mostly use Professor X on this, but I believe Void, etc. could actually work on this fight as well. Unless he keeps throwing his special easily, then it's just an easy task. Black Panther was not at all bad. All you gotta do is to ensure you keep an eye on the buffs he has, and as soon as he has an armor buff, he gets unblockable, so you need to ensure that you evade. Dex out of the way. Apocalypse worked great on this fight because once you hit him with an SP2, he has a concussion, which would actually occasionally make him not enable his armor up buffs or the footloose node as well. Then once you hit him with an SP3, the concussion goes to 70% and a lot of his abilities will begin to fail, including the footloose nodes. Nightcrawler is actually extremely easy. Especially if you have one of these two, Professor X or Apocalypse, because he's not going to evade at all. I did use Professor X with this on this fight, but you can also use Apocalypse because by now my Apocalypse was approximately, I think, 80% evade resistance. So he could have reached 100% easily, and then Nightcrawler would not have evaded. But with 200% mutant boost, Professor X actually took this fight. I saw people do this fight with Professor X, so that's what I tried first. But it didn't work out good enough because she's stun immune. Or rather, all the damage in this stun gets reflected, including the stun. So I just used Apocalypse on this fight. I reached 100% evade resistance with Apocalypse right here, and she did not evade at all. And then it was an easy fight. Same with Domino. Though I think this is where I understand why you need a 6-star rank 3 champ or something, because she actually does a lot of damage with her critical failure. So that actually did make me lose a lot of health, but she would not evade Apocalypse either, even after getting an evade charge. I still used a couple of revives here. Mojo was also simple till the time I actually didn't get knocked out. So I used Magneto here. The trick is not to charge heavy with Magneto. Just throw a heavy and gain as many as the prowess charges you can. I think I threw a special 3 after 16 or so. It's just that the special hits a little heavier, but you get lesser bleeds on Mojo. So after you lose a fight, then it starts getting harder because he starts gaining followers as his persistent charge. I believe Gladiator Hulk would have worked better on this fight because he would degen you occasionally. I'm not sure who else would work. I mean, of course, there are obvious counters. I'm just thinking out of the box here. Abomination was also easy. The trick is that Professor X actually does not make contact with the defender with any other attack other than his first medium. So as long as you do a parry heavy, he's not going to gain any poison charges, and as long as you have that 200% boost, it's going to work. Although I still was not able to one-shot this fight, but there was not a lot to do in this fight either. Having a poison immune, like again Gladiator Hulk here, if you're using for the 3 fights before, should actually be one of the champs you can bring on this path, rather on this whole chapter. This Apocalypse wasn't difficult either. If you're someone who knows how to evade his SP1 and SP2, it's actually a piece of cake. I cannot evade his SP2 all the time, and with his SP1 I can only evade the last beam, so it does take a lot of block damage, but it wasn't actually crazy difficult either. Sasquatch has this life cycle node, so you just gotta make sure that he is knocked out enough times. With this fight I also used Apocalypse, just continue to do a parry heavy until I could hit an SP2 and then an SP3 to ensure that he does have that ability accuracy reduction. and just continue on doing a parry heavy SP1s, SP2. That's it. By the end, once you knock him down and the life cycle node is cycling, you just need to ensure that you attack into him with 4 persistent charges. Even if he's blocking, Apocalypse can actually stun him and get the job done. Killmonger wasn't hard either. The sharpened claws actually does give you 3, I think 5 bleed effects, but the damage on the bleed is not that much, although it does stack up if you get it multiple times. But Apoc can actually get immunity to bleed after 8 seconds or so. So he actually worked great on this fight. Just do a parry heavy SP1, SP2. It doesn't even need to reduce its ability accuracy, although I did that though. Just make sure that when his vibranium armor is active, don't attack into him. Don't attack into him if he has more, or rather large amount of power, 2-3 bars or so. If he has less power, then you can do a parry heavy. Void would have actually been one of the most difficult fights because of the long distance relationship node and power shield. Watching the YouTube videos, I only use Professor X on this fight. You can actually use any champ who has a high SP3 damage, because with the power boost node, you can actually go back to SP3 over and over again. That's what I did with Professor X, but I think any champ would work. The only challenge will be to reach that SP3. But once you're there, it'll help. I think I had to use a couple of revives here because 2 times I was not able to reach SP3 in time. I think one of them times I was able to reach SP3, but right about when I was about to throw it, he just hit me with an SP2. Nick Fury is actually extremely easy. He has nothing going on for him. In fact, the kinetic transference node helps him, reach to his SP2, so you don't have to, evade his SP1. I only have mutant champs here, so any mutant champ would actually help him not gain his charges. And finally, Thanos. I did not use any revive on this particular fight. Thanos was extremely easy. The trick I used was to make sure that he does not throw as many specials. So what I would do would be, I would do a parry heavy if he has a special active, and I would just hold block immediately. So he would attack into me, and I would do a re-parry. And just do parry heavy or maybe a 4-hit combo and dash back, so he doesn't throw a special immediately. Not that he did not throw specials at all, but he threw specials much less than one would anticipate. Below 40%, I would just go ahead and continue to bait a heavy attack and just hit a 4-hit combo and come back and continue to block. During his third phase, it was actually pretty simple. He was aggressive, so you can just go in, just do a 4-hit combo, dash back. You will get that. You will only lose, I think, 25% health with the SP3. So if you have a champion at full health, he can do it. So all my 5 champs at full had at that time, and I decided to use Namor at the end. But by the time Namor's turn came for me to use him, he was already at 1%. So that was it. The gauntlet was over. It was relatively longer than I expected. Not a lot of revives were used, of course. In total 40 revives, including 19 revives, but a lot of health potions were used. So make sure that you do get health potions, farm them. That's about it. I'm gonna add the video of me opening the rewards after this, and thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Take care. Goodbye.